Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Agree. Is that what you said? And she goes, what do you say? I said, thank you. Is that guy unlocked? I will never clear up anyone.
Yes.
All the best. Stay. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Rafi. I'm Juan, like the number one. They should have just joined us.
Good luck, ladies.
Who do I know there?
Interesting, mate.
Hey.
Maddie.
We got one. How busy both have?
Well, good afternoon, wherever you are watching in Victoria, across the nation, or around the world, and welcome on a corker of a Keilor Park Saturday out in the west of Melbourne. Some of that winterly chill has evaded us on a Saturday that's more akin to spring than it is at this time of year. However, for these two teams in the Senol National Premier League Victoria Women's, they know that the outcome of today rests heavily on both of their futures. Defeat for Bentleigh Greens will see a decade-long stay in the top flight come to its conclusion. For Keilor Park, a win themselves would steer them mathematically to safety and secure top flight football for 2027. A game of massive weight for both. 3 points that will feel like 6. It could be the curtain call for one, though it could be the salvation that only safety brings for the other. My name's Ethan Rigg, and welcome out here on a superb day. We are motoring with some motion towards the final month of the campaign. Both of these two know that their fates are nearly sealed, though are not quite at their respective finish lines yet. Today, though, could be the determiner. Bentleigh Greens came in with their future slightly uncertain, thanks to the early kickoff over in Avondale, which did not go the way of Preston. Had it done, they would have come into this game already relegated, though their chances of survival are hanging on by the slimmest of threads. They have to be perfect. They can simply not drop a point from here until season end, or the story may come to its close. It's been a side who have really had quite a battle in this campaign to pick up form, to pick up points. Keilor Park have made this place a fortress, though. Looking for a 5th straight league win at home. Last time they lost here was when Burundara came to town many months ago. It feels like forever ago. As we get closer and closer and closer to kick-off, we'll take you through the starting lineups for this afternoon's action. It's, of course, one of a few 3 o'clock kickoffs. And for the hosts, Kennedy Leighton, Amelia Inglace, Caitlin Courage, who was crucial in getting them on their way to safety in a critical win over Bully not too long ago here. Mia Power, Georgia Henderson, Ellie Lamonte White, Maggie Byrne is between the sticks, Sarah Mitchell, Abby Holmes, who's been a regular source of goals, as has Runa Commodori, and Grace Mitchell all round out their starting lineups. And for Bentleigh Greens, well, they know they must win today. There is no two ways about it. Melissa Barbieri is between the sticks. Savannah Oxley, who got them a point against Alamein not too long ago. Christina Souza, Candela Ferreira-Basu is their top scorer. Kira Myers, Mia Otero, who was another mid-season arrival. Yuka Sato, Kate Dunn, Karina Tolios, who has been a bright spark this campaign. Lara Smith and Julia Sardo. All looking to ensure that Bentleigh Greens could live to fight another day. It has been a torrid away record, though, without a point on their travels in 2026. Their fate depends on whether or not they can change that today. Keilor Park wanting safety. Bentleigh Greens wanting to just keep themselves ticking, to keep themselves with a pulse, and to keep their top flight status from fading rather ignominiously. They will have to do what no team in the last month and a bit has been able to do, and that is come here and win. Keilor Park in particular have picked up many points at this place, though. Tolios is on the early charge. Options left and right. She went for a drive. Uncertain was Byrne as it whipped late wide of the far post. Bentleigh Greens wanting to fly out of the traps. And maybe to add some shades of tangerine on a day that until now could be engulfed in purple haze out in Keilor Park, who are now streaming forward themselves. In behind for a drive was Karic, who timed the run to perfection. Just could not quite catch it cleanly. Neither side wanting the other to settle. Caitlin Karic knows that there will be that space in behind which she can exploit. And cause a Bentleigh Greens side that have only had Melbourne City concede more than them in the top flight this season, under quite a lot of pressure. Did it to good effect against Bulleen. That was right in the middle of what's been a truly dominant home run. Last time they were here was on the 4th of July, and they saw off Melbourne City. They did so the week prior to see off Melbourne Victory too. This place has been a bit of a fortress in recent times as Sato was steered into the channel. Mitchell was in retreat, though the flick on only favoured Myers, who will have a drive and find a super opening goal. Beauty. A magnificent Myers hit. And Bentleigh Greens have got the start they craved.
That's quality, hung, well done. Brilliant.
And for them, what is Judgment Day has got its first telling blow.
Start again, start again.
Glorious strike. That for Bentleigh Greens, what was a resting pulse, has now got a bit more of a beat. And questions at this place, at this time, being asked of Keilor Park, who have not tasted defeat here in a while, in both league and cup competition. They do have a free kick, though, in immediate reply. And the only side to come here in recent times and be victorious was South Melbourne in the Cup. Bentleigh Greens wanting to add their name to that list. They are off to a magnificent start. They have themselves a free kick to defend. One which is drilled in dangerously. Lurking round the back was Inglace, who made the late run.
Stay up, Tully, stay up, stay up, stay up. Well done.
Being warded off. Unable to find a way further forward was Karic. Keilor Park wanting to turn the screw. Holmes unable to find the way through, though will win a corner.
Listen to the calls. Bobs, you're on.
And immediately the pressure is ramped back up.
Candy, hold. Hold. Kira, watch that drop in.
Must win. First contact.
Another Keilor Park set piece, whipped to the near post. Cleared away with a lunge
Ref, player down.
from
player
Tolios. Myers unable to win the battle. It was cleared only as far as Power. And there is one behind. And one is down. Abby Holmes going over just to check. As is the Keilor Park physio team, who are just providing treatment to Ellie Lamonte White. She thankfully seems to be okay, though Keilor Park momentarily will be down to 10. More some contact in the chaos that ensued from that corner. It was flicked on for Commodore, who was wrestled and won a free kick. Smith had a bit too much for the officials' liking. Here's another free kick. Leighton's over it. Kennedy Leighton with whip. Cleared no further than Tolios. Ferreira Bass looked to make it work. Bundled into was Souza, who was enclashed. Whipped back teasingly. Barbieri read it well. Commodore was the on-rusher, as was Holmes. Neither could be found. And it's flung on for Sato, who had Myers advancing further down the line. Karic came to cause a bit of an issue. Was set back through Oxley. That's tidy from Dunn, who just evaded with coolness and composure. Myers took it tidily, couldn't set it on for Sato. Commodore got a foot in. Myers, Dunn, who set it on for two to run in the channel. Otero gave chase. It was cleared only as far as Sato, who couldn't find a way through Mitchell. Smith fling down the line. Again, Mitchell across to clear. Sato just came to cause an issue. Smith. Again, unable to find a way further forward. Grace Mitchell's had quite a bit to do. Myers was going beyond. Flung for Ferreira Bass. Shout for hand. Ball waved away. Poked up the line for Holmes. Commodore. Steered on cleanly by Mitchell. On for Karic, who got away from Tolios. And then just set it behind Power, which allowed Souza to come across and see it out of play. Measured Keilor Park start. Have not yet been able to carve a clear way of response. Oxley mopped up. Steered on for Myers, who went deftly for Sato, and she was given a barge. Sarah Mitchell came across with too much contact. Dunn's free kick. Dunn's try for the back post. There was a slip from Otero, who had otherwise worked a yard. Surface maybe already playing a few of its tricks. Souza. Delightful footwork. Teasingly set by Sato for Ferreira Bass. Foot in then fell for Karic, who went to clip it round the outside for Holmes. It was well read in the end by Smith. Dunn took over, and now Myers. Kira Myers on the charge, set it back comfortably, awkwardly. Tolios couldn't get on the end of it. Power forced to clear. Keilor Park cannot get out. Set once again for Sato, who evaded deftly. Sato beyond one, beyond two, moved it on for Myers. Smith. Sato, unable to poke it for Myers, who had just inverted a little. Bentleigh Greenstoke playing as though they know that a decade in the top flight, all they have known in the NPLW, is well and truly on the line. Karic driving forward, couldn't find a way further beyond Sardo. Barbieri sent it, Holmes got up. Oxley. Smith. And now Dunn, who spit it out the other way for Souza. Waited well for Otero, who went to drop off for Ferreira Bass. She again was entangled and lost out. That's really tightly done by Lamonte White. Ingles. Lamonte White still getting back to her feet, but Power was on the overlap and was out of room before being able to go further. Unfamiliar territory for Keilor Park in this fixture. They met earlier this campaign, right at the start of April. It was Abby Holmes at the double that was the difference maker. Beat Bentleigh Greens 2-1, the first real sign of a six-pointer that swung their way.
Hey, Mills, you can't keep letting Sarah pick her up. You've got to go with.
And they just started to set this side on a journey towards where they are now. Ferreira Bass left it on for Otero, who was twisting and turning and had three to go beyond. Cleared no further than Tolios, who fancied a drive. Was cut out, the ricochet found Karic, who cleared no further than Dunn. And clever from Dunn. Tolios clipped it invitingly for Myers, who with trickery couldn't find a way beyond Mitchell, though Myers recovered, and recovered well. Commodore in ahead of Sato, and then invited Sato to go and win it. Those two entangled. Sato early. Nodded by Leighton, was awkward momentarily for Byrne, who then went through to claim. Power. Karic. Looked to steer for Lamonte White, cut out well. In the end, by Dunn. Smith invited to drift forward. Was in combination with Myers when searching for Ferreira Bass, couldn't find a way further. And Ferreira Bass battling with Mitchell. Sit on for Otero, who tried to drop it off for Myers. Candela Ferreira Bass looked to work a yard for herself. Slipped on a switch that proved smashing for Souza. Tolios. Patient, measured. Sousa once more, again wanting to drive and doing so. And the ball was an easy gather for Bern. Just did not quite have the guile. Hadn't gone beyond Henderson. Though Bentleigh Greens are building all the momentum, creating all of the opportunities. Holmes lost out. Karic kept it moving. She was met by Otero, then by Tolios. Steered it in the channel for Holmes to give chase. No, in retreat. Quickly was Sardo. Oxley, who had room to turn, and had Sousa open up immediately. Otero couldn't find Tolios. Was cut out well in the end by Henderson. It was again another defined combination with Karic. Goals for Bentleigh Greens have been hard to come by this season. Only their 15th in the league for the campaign. No one going into today had scored fewer. Though at the moment, their 15th, it's worth its weight in gold. Sousa went to Spirit for Myers or Otero and found neither. Mitchell. Monte White had life made difficult. And they got the final flick. In retreat off Smith. Throw was quickly set for Commodore. This time it was done driving across. Holmes. Set it cleverly for Lamonte White, who whipped it dangerously. Sousa cleared for Rabas, couldn't make it stick. Mitchell won it. Sarah Mitchell got it back from Grace Mitchell, though, with a bit too much pace. Dunn had dropped. Grace Mitchell got up, picked off with Karic, who evaded Tolios, and then got away from Sousa. And her delightful drive was blocked at the last second by a last-ditch Sardo intervention. Caitlin Karic, though, just for a moment, was in the midst of something special. Holmes' flick, away by Oxley.
Step it up! Step it up!
In recover was Leighton, who set it back for Ingles, and she is under pressure from a charging Myers. Burns' clearance was one which he didn't connect with. Sato. Magnificent return from Myers via Sato, who is sizing up Mitchell. On the overlap was Smith, who steered it teasingly. Ingles got a foot in at the expense of a corner. Bentleigh Greens eyeing a second. Oxley's take. Set dangerously again, awkward. Byrne was there to gather. Sardo got the contact, though was also in the meantime there to win at some personal cost. She will now just be given a quick check. Thankfully is back on her feet without much fuss. still have not settled into this game, have Keilor Park. Not had many an opportunity to get at Bentleigh Greens. Chris Mitchell wanting to change that. Ferreira Bass battling, and battling well. Throw was taken for Karic, who again had 2 to go at. Whom of which he evaded, one of whom was done. Drilled into Sato, shout for handball, waved away. Oxley, deflection found Ferreira Bass. Mitchell picked her pocket, though only poked it on for Tolios, who returned it in kind. Mitchell, Karic. Set back for Ingles, who just for a moment had Otero lurking. Burn on the switch for power. Look to steer it down the line for Lamonte White. Souza came across to get a foot in. Holmes worked to yards. And the slide in retreat from Sardo was tidy enough. Dunn had to clear under Abby Holmes' relentless pressure. Sarah Mitchell speared it for Holmes, who couldn't get it under. Now Keilor Park just causing more of an issue. Measure from Barbieri. Ferreira Bass's touch invited Commodore to stroll on, which he did so. Set on for Henderson, who got a second look and was unable to steer it in the channel invitingly for Ellie Lamonte White, who wanted it wider. Though they are building. Understanding they want to get the job done today and secure their space for 2027. A side who had a very, very strong bunch in the early 2000s. The Keilor Park were constantly in and around the top 3 of Victoria's top flight back then. Hoping that salvation is the first step towards regaining that storied success and that consistent competitiveness, though. Otero is on the charge. Had Myers waiting centrally, though the ball was a comfy gather for Byrne. Cut out by Souza, returned by Tolios. Christina Souza around the outsides. Kept alive by Myers, who has started brightly. Has power to go at, steered to the near post. Away by Leighton, no further than Tolios. Oxley, who moved beyond Commodore. Out the other way for Otero. Mia Otero found nowhere beyond Mitchell. Was flung for Ferreira Bass, who'd gone beyond, though she was marshalled out of play. That was the ball for a goal kick. The Greens having just weathered a bit of a Keilor Park storm, looking to create a flurry of their own. It's weathered well in the end by Sordo, steered centrally. Oxley did well to ward off. Souza continued. Myers kept it away from Henderson and went with height on the return. For Souza, though, wasn't able to find her. And Mia Otero's got a problem. Play will just be halted. She had not moved comfortably after that last little bit of contact and was in conversation with Juan Geraldo Vega on the Bentleigh Greens bench. She is just receiving some attention. They will hope it is nothing serious. be wanting to ensure that she can continue to play further parts. Otero, who arrived in the mid-season window from Florida Tech over in the United States. Has since been settling in to life in Bentleigh Green. She got her first goal for the club in their Nike FC Cup exit at the hands of South Melbourne not too long ago. So Bentleigh Green's turn now to temporarily go down to 10. And Otero looks in quite a bit of discomfort. They will hope she can continue and that it is not anything serious. Though there are a couple of grimacing looks down on that touchline. Looks of real concern as to what further part she could or might be able to play. Sousa's fling on, nodded on by Ferreira Bass. It then fell for Mitchell and the lunge in from Commodore drew particular ire. Savannah Oxley stole in.
What are we doing here?
And for it as well, Runa Commodore will find herself in the book.
She wins the ball and she gets a card. How is that worse than the two when we're scoring goal and they've stopped us in the first 5 minutes?
Bentleigh Greens have got another free kick. And Commodore will just have to be a bit cautious. Someone's been a regular source of goals for Keilor Park. Someone they will know. That link up with Holmes has been handy this season. Dunn's free kick speared dangerously. Nodded away by Ingles, returned by Ferreira Bass, who fired it straight into Mitchell. Courage was looking to find a way down the line and find touch. So Sarah Mitchell could receive some treatment. Otero can continue. Thankfully for Sarah Mitchell, who did wear the return from Ferreira Bass. She got straight back to her feet. Power will restart things. Ingles. For Byrne, who spit it out for Power. Touch invited Sato, though, to go on and win it. Otero couldn't quite get there. Ferreira Bass then benefited. Her 5-4 Torios was cleared with particular force by Leighton. There's Kate Dunn. Bentleigh Greens have been quite measured in their approach so far in this game, certainly since that opening goal. Speed long by Barbieri for Ferreira Bass, who was seen under it by Ingles. Dunn then came through. Power up ahead of Sato. It then fell for Otero, who was given a flick by Power. Oxley lost out to Commodore, who went out the other way. Grace Mitchell. Lamonte White let it run. Henderson went on the overlap. And Sardo in retreat saw it out of play. That loose on occasion from Myers. Keilor Park just have not been able to build consistent pressure so far. Opportunities have been scarce, though. Here is Holmes. Couldn't find a way beyond Sardo. Throw in taken quickly. Set for Lamonte White. Ricochet favoured Barbieri, who had safe hands. At the moment, Bentleigh Greens are just ticking nicely towards doing something which in the league has not been done for a few months. And that is to come here and beat Keilor Park on their own patch as Souza is charging forward. Tolios found space. Henderson was in retreat. Was taken over by Myers, who drilled it awkwardly for Byrne, who then had to recover in time as Otero was lurking to turn in any further errant touch. Ferreira Bass couldn't go beyond power. She got it back from Mitchell, moved it on for Karic. And now it opens up for Henderson, who will set it wide for Lamonte White, drilled dangerously across for Commodore. And it just had a fraction too much pace on it for her to make a proper go at. That was the first time that Keilor Park had been able to carve their way. It was really well done by Power. Space opened up tidily for Henderson, who waltzed through, took the invitation, just could not find the final ball. Here is Commodore, away from Otero. On for Grace Mitchell, who has forayed forward. Henderson's touch, again far too strong for Lamonte White to get on. At the moment, Bentleigh Greens just edging towards halfway for a second only league clean sheet, the only one in their only league victory, 1-0 over Burundara. As Dunn looked to tiptoe at Commodore, and in the end could only clear. Have a set for Karic, away by Sato. Mere power in ahead of Ferreira Bass. Touch from Mitchell, invited Otero. Sato. Ferreira Bass, who steered it tidily for Myers. Kira Myers was clever to ward off Oxley. Otero set superbly for Sato, who had Karic waiting to challenge. Mia Otero. Smith. Commodore got in as she was searching for Oxley, and now it opened up for Holmes, who could not find Lamonte White, who was motoring. Souza, Dunn, who has driven her way invitingly. And 2 to go around, and Karic left a leg in, and for it will receive a yellow card. Kate Dunn had breeze beyond, 3 then 4. And Caitlin Karic had a wild swipe. And draw herself a yellow card. And it gives Bentleigh Greens free kick. One that they can take in a position of real promise. Bentleigh Greens eyeing a second. Myers, who got the first magnificently, is given custody over Ferreira Bass. It will be Kira Myers, drilled it into the 3 waiting. Her second attempt via a deflection. Could have proved awkward on the bobble for Byrne, though had the sting taken out of it by the ricochets on its way. Commodore's flick on, away by Souza. Battling was Ferreira Bass. It fell once more for Christina Souza, who set on the switch for Smith, and she's got Karic charging. Dunn drilled it. Inglés made it work. And then got away from Otero. Steered it teasingly for Holmes. There to intervene right in the nick of time was Sado, who got a foot in. Keilor Park, though, have grown into this half, as it has transpired. Oxley again found Sousa well, who got on the charge, had Tolios round the outside. Mitchell going across and got a foot in. Tolios warding off two. And again, Tolios went and won it. Oxley moved it on. Sousa. Search for Ferreira Bass, who was on a collision course with some force. And met Leighton, who wore the brunt of it. Those two have consistently battled throughout this half. Otero went to flick it on. Campbell took over. And was clipped by Lamonte White. A foot in from Dunn. Was helped on for Otero. Myers. Millie Inglés went to warm her off. Tolios. Sousa went searching, but with far too much for Ferreira Bass to go and oblige with a run.
Hey, we gotta play! Open up all the way!
And speared on for Holmes, who got away from Sousa. Look for Lamonte White. Taken calmly by Oxley. Dunn. And retrospectively, it will be to have a judge to have struck the arm of Savannah Oxley, who gave away a free kick.
That was 15 minutes after the initial.
Took some deliberation. Keilor Park have got themselves an opportunity. Commodore is over it. Runa Commodore's free kick. Set awkwardly for Barbieri, who claimed without fuss. And then flung it on fabulously to release Otero. She went searching for Ferreira Bass, who's got there ahead of Power. Though in retreat, Mia Power's challenge was precise and pinpoint.
Yes, Serena, good.
Ferreira Bass again battled again. Power equal to it.
Out.
Dunn sauntering over for the throw. And it will be a Kate Dunn long throw. And the Greens wanting to cause chaos, to see if they can snatch a second. Flung for Ferreira Bass. Inglés had a bit to do. Power's clearance ricocheted off Sato. It then fell for Myers, who stood it to the back post for Otero. And the flick on, just in the nick of time, was a critical one from Mitchell. Commodore then bundled and fouled, and for it a yellow card will be given for Sousa. Just as Commodore was looking to turn and go. Leighton speared it for Holmes, whose flick on fell for Smith. She could not find a way further forward. Sarah Mitchell made sure of it. Flung for Myers, who had power to ward off and again found no way through. That was set for Commodore. And the flick on yields a goal kick. There was a brief Keilor Park shout for a corner. No, that was waved on without much fuss. Myers' touch was tidy. Smith had room to roam. Karic saw her out of play. And Caitlin Karic left for Power, who flung it on for Holmes. She's got Dunn to go at. Abby Holmes looking for a way forward. Speared away by Sardo. Through was Inglese, who did well. Sato. Otero. Left it for Myers, who then picked it back up and got in ahead of Mitchell, who couldn't make the challenge stick. Otero. Sato, who was swarmed by Commodore, and those two now entangled. Sato gave away a free kick. Is there to be a late twist to this first half? Kennedy Leighton's free kick. Steered to the back post, nodded away by Dunn. Commodore got up. It fell invitingly for Oxley, who was met by Henderson and Karic. And Lamonte White was bustled over by Souza. And defensively they have been bullish as well as defiant, difficult to break down so far, Bentleigh Greens. Karic is looking to change that. Steered it invitingly for Holmes, who collected Barbieri. Melissa Barbieri just taking a little bit of time to get back to her feet. Holmes went charging in, collected the keeper, who had got there first, and retrospectively, Abby Holmes does find herself in the book too. So another Keilor Park booking before half-time.
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said, Ref? That's unacceptable. Unacceptable, Ref.
There was something that drew the ire of the Keilor Park bench. They were not best pleased about something they thought that was said. In the meantime, Tolios steered it on for Souza. All down the line, cut out by Grace Mitchell. And still they are most animated and most active down on the touchline. Still they look for a way to get back into this game. That's a fine flick for Henderson, who steered it on for Holmes. Karic, the only one charging. In retreat, Dunn warded her off, and warded her off to good effect.
Watch the throw in, remember! Hey guys, we will need to adjust that.
As Holmes has been given a second yellow. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So a pair of yellows for Abby Holmes in quick succession. And she will not see half time. That is astonishing. So the long walk for Abby Holmes. Keilor Park are down for 10 and down to 10. And this afternoon for them already has become one engulfed in chaos and an implosion. There is no doubt that will be subject to much conversation from those on the Keilor Park bench, perhaps now as it was when it was issued, and at half-time, which is quickly approaching. Dunn's clearance, no further than Mitchell. The ricochet took the sting out for Barbieri. And we are to tick into 3 minutes of stoppage time. So far, Kira Myers is the difference maker. Sato got in ahead. Myers made it awkward. It fell for Otero, who looked to flick for Ferreira Bass, though Byrne came through and judged cleanly. Sefakaric, who couldn't get it under. Souza nodded it on. Karic's second flick found Sato, who was unable to find Ferreira Bass. Leighton through. Up was Sardo. Henderson on the charge. Sardo again had to set back to Barbieri. And now Kate Dunn. Away from Commodore. Set it on for Sato, who speared it terrifically for Tolios. And through came Leighton to put a stop to it. Up was Sardo. Leighton once more. It then found its way for Myers, who fancies a charge at Mitchell. Steered it on for Otero. Ferreira Bass unable to get there. And now Commodore, who can go the other way. Steered it out for Lamonte White, who got there rather well. She in turn couldn't find Karic. Souza got up. Karic's touch was loose. Souza's clearance was rather sliced. Lamonte White got away from Smith. She went on the drive. And Barbieri just sat a little closer to her line in order to ensure any sting from the bounce was taken up. Ferreira Bass again battled. Inglaise got up. Commodore moved on for Grace Mitchell, who had room to whip for Henderson. Again, they cannot find a way through. Leighton, Mitchell, Henderson, that's a tidy return. Grace Mitchell looked to go beyond Souza. And the ball trickled out for a goal kick. Bentleigh Green's just wanting to see out and take the sting out of a half that has bubbled and boiled over, which they will do. And so it is the early strike from Kira Myers, one that was most magnificent, but at the moment has Bentleigh Green's top flight status, living to fight another week. Keilor Park have not helped themselves, architects of their own downfall. Abby Holmes, who has been a regular source of goals, was sent walking not too long before the break, though as we go to half-time, it is Keilor Park 0, Bentleigh Greens 1.
In Italy, no, I'll still take a 5 milligram a day. But when I used to go play in Italy, it was illegal. You could get suspended. Then I go to Australia, and the supermarket could sell. So imagine somebody like me was looking. Yeah.
Those kind of games always come to life in the second half. The first half was about trying to break and slow it down and trying to figure out
I'll stand here. It is. You good?
Good to see ya. I thought you'd be halfway across the world by now.
Oh, I just got back and I'm leaving again in a week.
Oh, nice. One
Yeah.
He's taking the lollies. Hey. What are you doing? I wonder who introduced the lollies to football. It's one of those things never missed many times.
And so, 45 minutes from a second win for the season for Bentleigh Greens. If they are to see it through, some half-time changes to report. Grace Mitchell's afternoon is done. She in turn will be replaced by Jessica Au. Keilor Park wanting to shuffle the pack. Bentleigh Greens wanting to see things out the way that they are. Medina Ali also introduced for them. Bentleigh Greens lead 1-0 thanks to a simply superb Kira Myers drive quite early on. That is their difference maker. Tolios with an early bundle and an early foul. Keilor Park down to 10. Their top scorer, Abby Holmes, sent off before half-time. Given 2 yellows in rather quick succession. They are starting to see what they can conjure. A player down. Free kick which Leighton will launch. Wanted Commodore was nodded away. Only as far as Mitchell, who will drive. And Barbieri will gather. It was quite a fiery end to that first half, where the Abby Holmes was sent off. Keilor Park were not best pleased about it. As Lamonte White twisted and turned with 2 to contend with. Tolios got a foot in. Sousa looked to steer it, fell for Ferreira Bass, who helped it on its way. Myers lost out in the end to Leighton. Ingles nodded on by Sato. Ferreira Bass couldn't find a way further forward. Jessica Au dropped in. Mia Power's got room to drive. It's a spirit for Karic. It was awkward for Dunn. And to recover was Smith, though Karic made life difficult. And has now worked a yard for herself and steered it to the back post invitingly for Lamonte White, though it just had a little bit too much depth. Though that is bright for Keilor Park. The kind of adventure and guile that they will need to show in this second half if they are indeed to get back into this game. Bentleigh Greens, it was Mia Otero who made way at half-time. Picked up a knock in that first half, never quite moved comfortably following it. They made the decision. They will be hoping one precautionarily to ensure her afternoon goes no further. And Al was met firmly by Oxley. Jessica L bounced back up. And Savannah Oxley will escape a booking. She will get a talking to. Keilor Park have yet another free kick in yet another position where they can threaten. Karic over it. Karic's take drilled awkwardly for Barbieri, who spilled. Where some have sat for Barbieri, that one was far less kind, far less friendly. She was able to gather. And the second time of asking. The speed long fought Ferreira Bass, nodded on by Leighton. And then Henderson, who steered it smashingly for Lamonte White, who's in behind. Two converging in the area. Was stood to the near post where Barbieri made her move early and gathered. It's the first time, though, Keilor Park have found joy in the channels. There's power. Again for Lamonte White, who did well to ward off Souza. Tolios got a foot in. Power came through to provide some help. Steered on by Leighton, out of play. Bentleigh Greens are feeling the heat, though. And space for Savannah Oxley, who in the first half had quite a tidy afternoon. Wanted to dictate and has been another who's settled into life well at Bentleigh Greens. Got her first league goal for the club in that draw against Alamein. Only point they picked up since their win over Burundara, though at the moment they are on track to keep themselves alive for the time being. Jessica Al wanting to change that. Moved on for Karic, and again Lamonte White, who has timed the run terrifically. The flag has stayed down. There was one waiting. A touch took her a little bit wide. Lamonte White tried to drive at Souza, and the shout for a penalty was waved away. Ferreira Bass bundled, Inglés got up. Oxley got a foot in. Commodore was battling, though Savannah Oxley was able to get out of danger. Done. Tolios. Steered on for Souza. Given away to Power, who again can charge. Commodore. Henderson. Who was unable to steer it invitingly. Had Karic, who sliced across it. Bentleigh Greens looking for a way to just settle in this game. That early goal in the first half gave them the control they craved. And they are feeling the Keilor Park pressure at the moment. Hooked away by Dunn. And Glaze got up. Tolios. Henderson got a foot in. And not quite so to good effect. Myers told to leave it by Souza, who will in turn find her. Tolios battled, steered on for Ferreira Bass. Al proved too far to go beyond. Tolios, Oxley, who went with whip for Myers, whose touch took her out of play. Flung long for where Oxley got in. Lamonte White inadvertently got a foot in. Set back for Dunn. Space for Oxley again, who found it superbly. And again moved it for Myers. Tolios round the outside. Through was Leighton. And Lamonte White. who was impeded by Souza, and wins a free kick. Ellie Lamonte White started this off with a lot of menace. Has been the one that has caused the most problem. Clayton speared it. Henderson nearly got the flick. Karic nearly benefited. Dunn then drove it outward. Ingles. Set back without much fuss. It was steered on for Henderson, whose touch was deft, and invited Sarah Mitchell to drive. Monte White just couldn't quite get it under. Of course, not the only 3 o'clock kickoff today. Look around the Senol National Premier League. Victoria Women's, a day of mass importance. But that was magnificent from Myers, who was then barged out by Power. Hurtling on was awkward to deal with. Barbieri's got something to think about. She cleared in kind. Tolios warded off by Henderson. And now Power clipped it teasingly. Oxley was there to set things calmly. Souza. Myers, good drop for Tolios. No way through Henderson. As we go to some of those other results, Essendon Royals continuing their charge towards the title. They hold the lead at Melbourne City. Alamein and South Melbourne locked level. No one can find a way through. And a 4 o'clock kickoff at the Veneto Club. Bulleen and Heidelberg also in stalemate. In the meantime, though, here is Myers, who was looking to drive at Power. It fell for Ferreira Bass, whose effort was blocked by Leighton. Dunn ensured Commodore had no way through. Al then battled and won it. Likewise did Smith. Commodore shifting. Ferreira Bass got a foot in, as did Ingles, whose challenge was tidy. And now Jessica Al's got room. Had Henderson centrally, who got away from Tolios. And speared it invitingly and smashingly for Karic. She is awaiting runners, 2 in the area. Karic battling. Dunn got a foot in, set back for Al, who clipped into the area, and Barbieri had an undisturbed gather. Mid-season move for Jessica Al to Keilor Park. Last home win here against Melbourne City. She was on the score sheet. We'll be hoping to add similar this afternoon if they are to rescue themselves from a perilous position. As Sato. Oxley had to lunge. Karic was deft. Savannah Oxley was patient and won out in the end. She can now drive. Moved it on for Myers.
Yes, one more, yes.
Who again has got room to shift away. Myers will go for a drive. And Leighton got a ricochet, got a wicked deflection, which for a moment might have wrong-footed Maggie Byrne, though ricochet wasn't one which added sting. It took out any sort of guile and allowed her to claim as Power. Leighton launched it on by Souza, who used an arm.
Melina, I need you to wake up. Come on, man. We're jogging, we're too careful. Go, Ken. Sarah, stay.
Another Keilor Park free kick. In a half that they have started rather well. Searching for an avenue back into this game. Here's Commodore's take. Set for Lamonte White, who has got Souza to go at, and breezed their way beyond beautifully. Options were arriving. Tolios got a ricochet, likewise did Dunn, and then Souza saw it away.
Please do not make me yell at you like I'm yelling at Medina.
Power's throw with distance. Nodded away. Only as far as Commodore. Henderson. Power. Ricochet off Souza. Sardo did well to prevent the corner. Instead for Myers, which just in time forced Mitchell to come across. Souza. Ferreira Bass wanted it, as did Myers. It was speared in that direction. Power recovered well. Steered up the line for Souza, whose touch was a little loose. Sarah Mitchell's in a hurry, and it's because Karic was on the charge. This was Lamonte White. Caitlin Karic. Set back for out, who didn't catch the cross as she would have liked. Drove it for Ferreira Bass, who battled with Ingles. And Commodore got a foot in ahead of Smith. Wasn't able to find a way further forward. Ingles, that's neat. House touch a little heavy. Sato picked her pocket. Was steered on for Tolios via Ali. And now Karina Tolios. Tidy return from Myers. Kieran Myers. Gorgeous footwork once more. Had three arriving. Was cleared no further than Tolios, who went with whip and hit the post. Inches from doubling their lead. It dipped devilishly late. It hung in the air for what felt like an eternity. And then for Karina Tolios, it unfortunately bruised the base of the post. That was on hand to clear before any on-rusher could find its way. Souza looked to spear to the edge of the area where Henderson was waiting. She, in turn, looked to release Lamonte White quickly, though far too quickly. She's up the line for Myers. Leighton got in, as it had only just trickled over the line. Ferreira Bass. Myers then took over. Had options arriving, three of whom closing on the penalty area. Set it back for Tolios. Myers. Whipped dangerously to the near post. Ingles got across. It was set back by Mitchell for Leighton. Terrifically taken and terrifically set by Sardo. Tolios. Invited again with room was Karina Tolios. The slide from Karic was firm. Set up by Myers for Ferreira Bass, who hit the post again. Sato in a scramble, and in the chaos, Ingles had cleared. Al got a foot on it. It then nearly fell for Ali and was cleared away for Dunn, who will return it on the drive. They have hit the post twice in 5 minutes. Not even. Bentleigh Green's on 2 occasions. Inches from 2 up. Henderson's flick on, read by Oxley. She helped it on for Smith. Ferreira Bass battled. Medina Ali took over. Couldn't find a runner out wide.
Let's go, Tolly!
Set long up the line for Commodore, who did well. Lamonte White's flick was a good one. For Jessica out, who can drive at Souza. Challenge was tidy. Keilor Park are pushing. Will be another power long throw. Set for Karic. Flick on for Lamonte White. Bentleigh Green shout for handball. And the final flick from Commodore, who's stolen out the back. Saw it out for a goal kick. Good win from Ferreira Bass, who can now charge. In retreat is Henderson. Set for Ali, who had Tolios one more. Karina Tolios will drive.
Well done, Tolly, well done!
And it just didn't have the dip. She would have wanted it to.
Well done, Melina. Melina, well done. More of that, more.
It was terrifically worked though. Medina Ali's touch. Deft. It was just waited well enough for Tolios to come onto it. And for all the Keilor Park pressure so far, Bentleigh Greens have come the closest to doubling their lead, rather than be reined in. Commodore. Away from Dunn. Switched it for out. Al had room to charge. Karic was central. Had Lamonte White out the outside. She's got Souza to go at. Lamonte White was bundled into. Barbieri steered long. Recovered by Leighton. Out for Mitchell, who was collected. Is to be another free kick. Again, Kennedy Leighton to take. There is a congregation right on the edge of the area, out towards the back post. Leighton State goes again with depth. Karic got up. Henderson was bundled into. Commodore was pressed by Smith. Commodore did well to usher her out of play in the end. Put it away. And Smith in retreat. Where the first half was a little bit measured at times, a little bit cagey at times, the second half has truly ebbed and flowed. Henderson again wanting a way through and doing wonderfully well. Dunn got a foot in. Oxley was under pressure as she went on the swivel. Karic's flick favoured Commodore, who drilled it to the back post where there was no run awaiting. Ellie Lamonte White had gone invertedly to just try and cause some chaos in the area. This is the start of a really, really important run home for both of these sides. Stays this way, Keilor Park are not yet safe. And Bentleigh Greens are not yet down. Keilor Park then go to Preston next week, where they can again determine their fate before Heidelberg. Their final away trip to South Melbourne before a pair of home games against Box Hill and Burundara to close out the campaign. Bentleigh Greens themselves have got Melbourne City, and if what it stays this way, will be one where the winner could end the other season and then trip to Essendon Royals for what could be quite a difficult away date. Melbourne Victory and Preston, a pair of home fixtures to close it before on the road at Olympic Village to face Heidelberg on the final day of the season to round out August. And Bentleigh Greens, likewise with Keilor Park, will go to the bench. Change either way. Kasia Normington will replace Christina Souza. And Ellie Lamonte White will be replaced by Tamsin Smith. Both going to reshuffle the pack. And Karina Tolios will be the one to drop in at left back, you would imagine. Myers and Normington lurking Oxley's flick. It then fell for Tamsin Smith, who evaded Myers tidily. Leighton.
Remember, you're on the right.
On for power. Steered for Smith, who got beyond Oxley. And just when steering further forward, Sardo Tolios got in a bit of a bind, but found their way out of play. House flick on a good one. Smith steered for Henderson, who is now on a foot race with Lara Smith, who is in retreat. Henderson did superbly and was given a flick. And it warrants a free kick in a promising position and a yellow card for Lara Smith.
Extra number in the box.
Yeah, Kane. Yeah, good, Jess.
This perhaps their look.
And get across the front.
Keilor Park had been building and building and building. They will be feeling it is time something comes to fruition. Will be Commodori's take. Set dangerously, nodded away by Dunn. Jessica out came charging. Tolios got there first, and now Myers, who in turn was happy to clear her lines. Freya Bass got up. Fell for Ali, who left it for Normington. Powers flick on. Sato with two to contend with, one of whom was Commodori, and she did well to win it. Ingles went searching for Henderson, though Dunn was across to good effect. House touch back for Ingles. Henderson. Lovely swivel again away from Smith. Once more Dunn was 2-1. Too many to go beyond. Courage. Ushered out a play by Oxley.
Every time the keeper, she slowed down the game all the time.
At the moment, Bentleigh Green still holding on. Sato, though, was hustled and was caught late in the end by Sarah Mitchell, who offers a lot in the way of apology. Sato just stolen quicker. Free kick was speared for Myers. Power saw her out of play without impeding her. Yeah, Power did very well on that occasion. Freya Bass's flick on Sato.
Yuki, take on, Yuka, go.
Who's got out to go at.
Take on, Yuki.
Yuka Sato twisting, turning, swivelling superbly and set it on for Ferreira Bass. Ali almost had a yard to shoot. Courage got a foot in. Ingles got up. Commodori was collected by Smith. Dunn will rekindle. Moving on to Ferreira Bass. Good challenge from Leighton. Smith recovered. Done.
I don't want to hear more from you guys, okay?
Lara Smith speared it.
Don't talk.
Myers was lurking at the back post. And Byrne was there to smother it. Good touch from Henderson. Good footwork from Al, who dodged their way beyond Myers. The challenge from Tolios. Normington. Sato. Space for Ferreira Bass, whose touch was a little loose, though she'll get there ahead of Karic. And Ferreira Bass has stayed down. Karic's challenge was certainly firm. Candela Ferreira Bass at the moment in need of attention, in need of a checkup. And Ferreira Bass will be told that she has to make way. So momentarily, it will be 10 each. And now there is some sort of further reprimand coming on the Keilor Park touchline.
Use this as a warning. If you keep going, and I know you have been, you won't be coaching.
And Liam Drury finds himself in the book.
No, she has not given attitude you guys have.
There may be him in the book for his collective protest throughout the day. As Karic is charging and had Smith to go at. Karic clipped, Al was searching, Sato was aware, and Sato got a foot in just in the nick of time.
Well done, Yuki, well done. Come on, people, last 15, come on.
Power long throw. Wants it out. Tried to flick for Smith. Mitchell nearly got a foot in. Normington. Good footwork to get away from two. Oxley. Steered no further than Leighton. It was warned by Ferreira Bass. It fell for Sato, who was happy to hammer it away. Leighton back for Byrne, who went with height. Sato got up, though the flick will only favouring Glace, who had Henderson one way, had Commodore the other. And when looking to steer it into the path of Runa Commodore, just put a fraction too much on it. And there is to be another change for Keilor Park. Margot Robin down on the touchline, awaiting introduction to see if she can be the one to snatch parity back. Keilor Park at the moment have just again rammed the pressure up on Bentleigh Greens, who are withstanding in kind for the time being. Commodore, that's a tidy touch. On for Smith, who looked to spear for Henderson. The ricochet fell for Tolios. Who again was happy to clear. Al had Sato lurking. Flung long. Too long for Henderson. Karic. And Henderson, just for a moment, had a vested interest. Power. Raced across. And again, we'll look to go for Henderson, who wanted to flick for Karic, but can only flick for a goal kick. And now there is to be that change. And it will be the end of the afternoon for Sarah Mitchell. And the introduction for Margot Robin. Keilor Park going all in to snatch something. They are now aware that time may just be becoming a little bit of a factor. Ingles got a foot in, Tamsin Smith. Battle with Ferreira Bass, who got a boot in. Normington had it break for her. And Byrne took the sting out before gathering.
It's a long ball. Focus, people, focus. Oi. Out.
Maggie Byrne went long and did not collect how she would have wanted to at all.
Show me what you got. Turn it around. Come on.
Good take from Myers, on for Sato. Henderson went down. Sato continued. Still going was Sato. Brilliant challenge from Leighton to prevent her surge forwards. However, Georgia Henderson, though carrying on, is in quite a bit of discomfort. Sato again took over and again charged up power. Leighton got in the way. Henderson's flick on. Ferreira Bass ensured it went no further. Robin did well. Al was entangled by Medina Ali with too much force for the referee's liking. Again, Leighton speared it. Oxley got up. Al and Karic sorted it out. Power, Leighton. Byrne on the other way for Ingles. Flick on from Rabin. Ingles tried to keep going and did so. Got away beautifully from Smith. Away from one, away from two. Dunn put a stop to it. Thumped away no farther than Leighton again. And Sato this time. The 1-2 smash it away. Power will recover. Jessica out. Smith turned into trouble. Ali took over and then left it for Ferreira Bass, who has options up with her, one of whom is Myers. Ferreira Bass, the only one looking to make a charge to the area. Normington was up too late. Ingles found Robin, who steered further forward, done through ahead of Henderson.
Hey, let's go, Bentleigh! Come on!
Karic speared it superbly for Al, whose touch was deft, as it was delightful. Had Tolios to go at. Sato lent a helping hand. It was recovered by Commodore, who got it back from Jessica out. Clipped it teasingly for Karic. Nodded away by Dunn. Tolios.
Good, Jess. You get it.
Help for Sato, who found Oxley superbly. Smith battled. Oxley took over, and now Savannah Oxley can charge. Had options streaming forward, one of whom was Ferreira Bass. Henderson in retreat, put a massive challenge in. Again, it is a Bentleigh Greens nearly moment on the break. Tolios. Breeze beyond two. Tolios still driving away from Smith as well. Byrne came through to claim.
Can I go here?
There was a Bentleigh Green shout for a penalty that was waved away.
Well done for making yourself.
As Karina Tolios is out back to her feet. Seen off in the end by Leighton, who just got a foot in the nick of time. Oxley met it, where Byrne looked to thump it long. Leighton rekindled, steered for Jessica out. Sato got a touch, Commodore had a stumble, and it opened the door to it. And Tolios, who got it from the recycle, Powers touch favoured for Erebas. There again, went charging down the line. Kira Myers gave help, Mia Power got a foot in. Time of the essence. And the Greens know they are getting close.
Yes.
Cleared away to Robin, who could not find the way.
Yes.
Sato
Take on. Yes.
on the touchline. That's superb from Sato. Al was one too many to go beyond. Sato went and battled to recover. And won a free kick superbly well.
Ready to follow up, people. Tashi, ready to go in front of keeper. Tashi, ready to go to follow up. Side on, ready.
Bentleigh Green's free kick in a position of real menace. Kate Dunn is over it. It is done with whip. It's awkward for Byrne and it nearly found its way beyond the lot.
Great ball, Kate, well done.
Uncertain whether to stay or go. It faded toward the far post late and nearly nestled itself the other side. Byrne had to retake the goal kick. It was set for Leighton. Bentleigh Green's Kate Dunn.
Go, Kashi!
Herself inches from providing the second that would see their salvation today.
Again, Kash! Come on.
Leighton tidy, Henderson with room, in which she is roaring forward. Threaded it through for Robin, Dunn recovered, and set for Barbieri to come and claim. Again speared long. Ali did well, got it from Myers, then lost out to Commodore, who is tiptoeing away beyond and was grappled too greatly by Ferreira Bass. And again, another pair of Bentleigh Green's changes being readied. There was conversation over whether it would be one or two on the touchline. They are eyeing a double to see this out.
Aggressive, focus, people.
Leighton again with depth. Was flicked into a dangerous area. Oxley got not one but two nods on it. Ferreira Bass helped it further.
Go, Keilor, protect.
Myers given one to chase. It's pristine from Power. Courage. Can they conjure something? Henderson, who got a poke into good effect to find Commodore, who had many to go beyond and wins a free kick. Impeded late by Normington. It was her and Smith in retreat.
Outside the box, kid!
So another opportunity for Keilor Park to go and pinch a leveller. It was whipped teasingly and found a way. Finally, they have beaten the door down. And with 10, Rabin has picked them off the canvas and launched them level. Hit too fiercely for Barbieri to beat away. And for Margot Robin, no better a time to produce something special. And those pair of changes now meet parity rather than a lead. Ali Normington make way. Chantal Candia and Anastasia Theodosiou, the two for Bentleigh Greens, who thought that they were getting closer and closer to a second win for the season. Keilor Park have found a way. Margot Rabin with a beauty. And it is one each. Foot in from Smith. Fell for Henderson. Karic was further forwards. Barbieri was quickly off their line. And speeded smashingly. That's a super ball. To find Chantal Candia. Oxley. A ricochet. Invited a foot in from Tamsin Smith. Henderson couldn't get there, and Kate Dunn has stayed down. She was the recipient of a challenge of particular force. 4 to go in stoppage time. For either to go and snatch it or for the points to be split. Dunn receiving attention.
I don't have communication with her. The comms died. Stretcher. We're gonna need a stretcher.
Stretcher should be a foul too.
And Kate Dunn is in need of even further attention.
Ladies, pull your heads in, yeah? Stop being selfish little turds.
Don't interrupt with them.
Watch your mouth, yeah? Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Okay? You don't call them turds. All right? Think I'm afraid? Come here.
This has turned a little unpleasant towards the close of a game that's not been short of spite.
Oh, let's go! Come on!
One that at times has looked as though it could very well boil over. It certainly did more than simmer on that particular occasion. Keilor Park in the moment are searching for a win. Jessica Howe is on the charge. Look to thread it for Rabin. Howe recovered ahead of Theodosiou. Sato got in on Smith, and now Myers set it off for Ferreira Bass. Leighton's in retreat, and we'll have to clear. Power in retreat with Ferreira Bass, who got a ball into ill effect. Mere Power did very well, in truth. Is there to be a late game breaker? Is there one who fancies putting their name all over this game more than any? And might it be Karic? Barbieri is on the charge, and again got there in the nick of time. A power throw post haste. Cleared no further than out. Commodore, that's tidy. Again, mere power. Tolios in retreat, and she got a foot in. Mere power speared it. Henderson, who has battled, did so with Oxley once more. Dunn drove it away. Was recovered by Leighton. In fact, Bentleigh Green still down to 10. No way further down the line for power. Karina Tolios took more yards than she was afforded. Again flung for Ferreira Bass. Tolios thumped away by Leighton. Commodore with a tidy take and a tidy turn. Had Henderson charging, and Rabin was further forwards. Margot Rabin is in behind, two awaiting, one of whom was Henderson, and it needed a denial by Barbieri. The most critical of interventions. Sato couldn't steer it. Ingles took over. Henderson once more. Sato kept the door shut. Ingles. Jessica Howe will get there first. Robin. Oh, Karic was lurking. And was so nearly found.
Go, Annie. Physical, Annie. Physical, Annie. Come on.
Covered well by Power. Commodore rolled it for Rabin once more. A late free kick. Is this to be it? Done reinstated, gingerly albeit. Karic, Rabin holding court. It is left for Karic, who went direct and had the final action. On an afternoon that was cagey as it was chaotic. Bentleigh Greens took the lead early, thanks to a glorious Kira Myers goal, though were reined in by something equally superb from substitute Margot Robin. Keilor Park battled the entire second half with 10 and found a way to pinch a point. The road to safety is nearly at its conclusion for them. For Bentleigh Greens, though, their future remains uncertain. Full time, Keilor Park 1, Bentleigh Greens 1.